Good evening. Today is December 21st. Happy winter. And the Board of Trustees. Just need to read this advisory. An advisory from the Massachusetts Department of Public Health has been issued for all non-vaccinated and fully vaccinated people to wear masks in public indoor settings in areas of substantial or high transmission. Shrewsbury, Worcester County has been categorized as a high level of community transmission for over a month. Therefore, we require that all employees and visitors in all municipal buildings wear a face mask. Exemptions from the mask requirement include those with a medical or other eligible condition. In addition, we ask all those attending the meeting to practice social distancing, leaving space between yourself and other non-related parties also attending the meeting. The board, committee, commission members here tonight will also be masked and practicing social distancing through their seating arrangements. When speaking, we do ask that your face mask remains on. Thank you. Okay. Hi, Claire.
Hi, Debbie.
So call the first item on the agenda is to review and act to approve the minutes of the November 23rd meeting.
I move that we accept them. I didn't see anything that needed to be changed.
Yeah, they're great.
I wondered if, I might have remembered this wrong, and this is minor, but when we talked about the residents and patrons, I thought we were adding both, keeping both, not replacing. Does anybody remember?
Yeah, I think you said, said we'll add both.
Keep
To do
both,
both.
instead
Oh,
of
okay.
instead of or.
I just had the,
Well, I'm sorry, what item was that?
It was number 5.
Service priorities.
Just
I know we kind of wrestled with which was right, like that we would do both,
Oh, I
just
see.
to like encompass as broad.
So not replace, but including.
Oh, I'm not
Okay.
sure.
Right.
I'm not sure what we said. So,
I'm not anymore either.
I guess
can't remember.
patrons would include residents.
Yeah.
No, we could do resident/patrons and
Okay.
it would be
Okay.
okay.
As I recall, last month was a pretty brief meeting.
Yes.
Yes.
They tend to get brief and then they get long.
Right.
So I'll second the motion with the noted correction. Yes.
That's good.
Sure.
Okay, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those against? Okay, passes. Next item on the agenda is to review and act to approve the report of directors' activities of November 2021. You visited the Historical Society.
Yes, our neighbors. I'm embarrassed to say I hadn't been there all these years. So I thought this was a great time
Yeah.
to go. So I went with Jess, our new reference librarian.
Yeah, oh, good.
And we talked about the resources that we have. We met with Chris Gustafson and
Uh-huh.
Linda Davis, the curator.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, so they were very gracious. They showed us around, showed us what resources they have. And I had looked at the website, but I didn't realize there was so much there in the website.
I've never
Yeah,
been.
David's been busy.
Oh, you've never been there?
Oh. They have some great meetings.
I should go.
They do. Yeah.
And this year, of course, this past year, they haven't met in person.
Right.
They've only had virtual
Yeah.
meetings.
Mhm.
But it was great, and they said they would come and take a look at our local history room.
Oh, good.
Okay. So there's
Good.
potential for some collaboration, maybe.
Sure, even the programs, they said we could, potentially collaborate
good.
and offer
Yeah.
some historical programs.
Right, and they have authors sometimes.
They do,
You know, from.
Yeah.
right.
Fantastic.
Right, yeah.
I was pleased to see the different collaborations with the Tewksbury Library. That's great.
Yes, that has been a very positive thing that's come out of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Collaborating with all the libraries in Massachusetts. The listserv is very, very active. We share a lot of things, and then offering programs on Zoom. It's easier because you have a wider audience, and sharing the cost too. Quite a few of our programs have been collaborative programs, and they offer these author talks that are just great. I mean, they've had Jeffrey Archer and David Baldacci and all big names.
Yeah, I've watched a few of them. They were
Yes,
great.
they were really good too, right?
Mm.
Yeah. And the librarian there markets his programs as, we are going to be sharing this with.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, so I think the authors are
Oh.
also excited.
Yeah.
And it's a win-win for everyone.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
And what are the Agatha Awards? Is that
For mystery books.
mystery books?
Yes.
Okay, so I was wondering.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
not watch that. but,
Okay.
Was there anything of interest at the MLS meeting? It probably was virtual.
Yes, it was
Yeah.
virtual. I don't recall anything that was unique.
Again, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other comments or questions?
And this should read November. Children's and teen programs offered in
Oh,
November,
sure.
not
Yeah.
October.
Yeah.
I did update the events, but I forgot to
I
change
do that. I used to do that. It drove me nuts. I didn't even see it. I just
No.
read it.
I didn't either.
And I look at it so many times, but I found
know.
it this morning. Of
Yeah.
course.
Do we have to accept them?
Uh-huh.
Oh, so I move that we accept the library director's report for November.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next item is to review programs and services that were offered in November.
Just had that 14 months just to-
160 new library members, amazing.
Yes. And I was just looking at all the events that we've offered in 2021, and I especially wanted to see how many programs we had offered on social justice, historically significant topics, and other important and relevant topics. And we have a good slate of events. We started, of course, in January 2021 with Ibram Kendi. And then we've had 11 programs
Wow.
during the year. We had Cheryl Fay as Abigail Adams, and then we had a professor from Assumption University giving a lecture on teaching while black, the life and lessons of pioneering educator Fannie Jackson
That was
Coppin.
good.
We had a talk on critical race theory. We showed a documentary on Borderland, the life and times of Blanche Ames, a women's suffrage movement, a leader in the women's suffrage movement. We had Joel Christian Gill, the cartoonist and historian. He's the author of the memoir Fights, One Boy's Triumph Over Violence. He's a graphic novel illustrator. And he's now working on the graphic novel Stamped from the Beginning, The Definitive History of Racist Ideas in America by Ibram Kendi.
Mm.
Then we had Ted Reinstein, author of Before Brooklyn, The Unsung Heroes Who Helped Break Baseball's Color Barrier. That was his new book. He spoke about that. Then we had a music program, The Roots of Black Music in America, presented by Carlos Trapp. This was part of the LSTA grant Civic Hub. Then, of course, we had the community read with Eric Kleinenberg. Had The Color of Law, A Forgotten History of How Our Government Segregated America by Richard Rothstein. And the last one was The History of Race and Politics in the Northeast.
Oh.
So, and it's been amazing that we've had some programs funded by the LSTA grant, some sponsored by the Friends, And like we just mentioned, collaborating with neighboring libraries. We've partnered with Grafton, Northborough, Southborough, Hopkinton, and other neighboring libraries. So, we've shared the costs of getting big authors or big names, and it's been a good year, I think. For
We also had Sojourner
events.
Truth.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
I forgot
yeah,
to include
yeah.
that.
So
Yes,
12.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That would make it 12.
Yeah.
So
Good dozen. Yeah, that's
Yes.
wonderful.
yeah.
Are you keeping track of the attendance numbers?
Oh, absolutely.
And how are the numbers?
Average attendance would be around. This is just ballpark figure, 20 to 25. I would say. One program might have had 40 people, another 15.
Yeah.
So it's. And we do advertise it a lot, very widely. Again, with other libraries and stuff, but the attendance is not always what we would expect. But we have so many programs, and other libraries and other organizations are also offering programs on Zoom. So, you see from the Boston Library, and you want to view everything, but there's
Right.
only so much time
Yeah.
Yeah.
to do that. And some of them are available on YouTube later, not our programs, the other libraries.
I don't know what the finances are and how you arrange these with people, but how about the community reads? Do we get a lot of people reading the book?
All our free copies are gone, so people have been coming and asking for them.
Okay.
And we gave them to the town hall, to the other department heads. I think people are reading the book. I haven't heard too much feedback though.
So this is something, I guess we do not have to vote on this,
No.
but it sounds like it was another productive and busy month.
Yes.
Okay.
Anne Marie, if you want this list, I can send it.
Okay, great.
All right, next on the agenda is financial and legislative to review and approve FY 2023 budget proposal. So Priya, I don't know if you want to highlight things or how you want to
Yes,
go
I'm-
through this.
Sure, just a second. I'm just
Yeah.
sending her a message to see if she can hear us. What happened to the video? Yes, so the budget is pretty straightforward this year. The salaries and wages are, you can see the column for the level service request and the enhanced service. The salaries are, just slightly over what was budgeted for, what was approved for the fiscal year 22 budget. And the only increase is in the part-time clerical, where we are asking for an enhanced budget that would include one additional seasonal circ aide. You see the column here, under notes, you will see that. So that's the only request that we have, including one additional seasonal circ aide that is in the summer and sometimes during the holidays when we need additional hours. So that is under personnel. And then I have new requests where we are requesting for 10 additional weekly library page hours. And the total would come to 6,545 in that. And additional team aides. I had spoken to the finance subcommittee members about this. We are seeing a lot of teenagers come in on Friday afternoons and on early release days. Hundreds of kids And we're very happy, of course, that they are, you know, that they think that the library is a place where they can hang out and have fun on a Friday afternoon, but we just need more supervising bodies. And before the pandemic, we had teenagers who we had hired to help us, help the staff just monitor and go around and, of course, remind the kids to wear their masks and all that kind of stuff. So I thought we would request a teen aides, and they would be paid at the rate that the pages are paid, and a couple of them, two kids on Fridays and early release days. So that would be of huge help to us. So that is the additional request here.
I'm just thinking about those Friday afternoons and the Omicron variant. Do we have any kind of information about the percentage of teens in Shrewsbury that have been vaccinated? I'm just trying to figure out, you know, bring a lot of people together, you know, what's the threat actually there? I don't know if that.
I'm trying to
maybe access
remember.
to that kind of numbers.
Well, the school department, I mean,
Yeah.
I think Dr. Sawyer in his messages does say, I'm trying to remember.
Is it pretty high?
It is pretty
It
high.
is pretty high.
It is
Good.
pretty
Okay.
high, yeah.
But since the new guidelines that the town manager had issued about, you know, in the town hall, they have changed how staff is going to be working. They're going to be working in teams and stuff. So I did reach out to Dr. Joe Sawyer and asked him if he could communicate to families that children should not be here in huge numbers on Fridays. And he did communicate with the families. I saw his email. And since that message went home, the last Friday there were substantially fewer kids.
Oh, good.
In fact, from about 300, it was around 30 kids.
Oh,
So
wow.
that is good that everyone is paying attention to the
Yeah.
data and being careful.
Good.
And it may have to go out a couple of times.
Probably, yeah.
Right.
Of
Just to
course, it
remind-
gets very cold, maybe they won't walk from the schools in the afternoon.
Just to remind parents, because
Sure.
I could see why it could get away from them.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, that was very helpful. But we would still, I mean, this request is for starting in July, so I would still be including this additional team aides. And then, so that is personnel. Everything else is the same number as last year. So R&M equipment, that is repair and maintenance of equipment, all our technology budget needs, it's the same. So it's the same amount there. Professional services is almost the same. Materials budget, we have a healthy amount there, 197,000, and we are requesting the same amount next year. This will ensure that we meet the state's materials expenditure requirement. And yeah, so everything else, supplies, and all of it is the same as this past year. So it's a pretty reasonable request that we have. The only enhanced request is for team aides and extra page hours. This way we can meet our municipal appropriation requirement and materials expenditure requirement that the state.
Priya, just a question, is there any concern that our costs are going to increase? You know, I'm thinking about supplies, I mean, you know, we're all paying more.
Sure.
So, you know, should we pad this a little bit in anticipation that things are going to cost more?
Yeah, that's a good question.
You know, maybe see what other departments are doing, because, you know, we could get caught short.
Yeah.
You know, oh gosh, we're gonna be paying a lot more for cleaning supplies or,
Right.
That's
you
a
know,
good
things
point.
like that.
Right.
So
Right.
it might be worth. increasing that a little bit.
That's a good point. But we also have to look at the year-to-date report and see how much we have spent of this year's budget.
Right.
And maybe that's a good time to look at that too. Yeah, but we cannot carry forward any of the supplies amount, so that's a good point about next year.
How much of the cleaning supplies type of the budget for this year have we used?
We haven't used up a whole lot this year.
So maybe we should buy some more.
Some and keep,
Probably
because
didn't use as much toilet paper last year.
Nobody was here to use it.
Hand
Cleaning
towels and
supplies.
things like that.
Any
Yeah.
kind of paper, printer paper.
because our custodian has changed, we actually
Yeah.
haven't, stocked up on
Yeah.
custodial
Yeah.
supplies this year. We have to get on that soon. Yeah, but that's a good point.
Should probably create a warehouse of supplies.
Yeah.
I'll add that, Nancy.
We don't want to be hoarders, but.
Yes.
Right,
Right,
good
right.
point though.
But
What is the rental of equipment for 450? What equipment do we rent? It's a small amount, but just
Yeah.
curious what it is.
Yeah, I had asked about that.
I'm
earlier,
just
I'm
curious,
sorry.
it's not
Yeah.
a big, amount, but
Yeah.
I was wondering, maybe a copying machine or something like that, but that would probably be more.
That would be more. Don't
What?
think it's the phones.
Oh,
It
maybe.
can't be the phone.
What about the postage machine? I know you mentioned that that's been problematic. Is that something we rent or we own?
We own.
We own it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we keep adding funds to it and
Yeah.
using the stamps. And we got it pretty recently, that new contract. So we had problems with the previous one.
But that's their responsibility to
Yes.
fix it. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's- Any questions about the budget?
And when does this have to be? This is just first draft. Yeah.
Yes, I have to submit it this week. I mean, the last date is end of December, but as soon as it's approved, I have to enter it in clear government stuff.
So you submit it to town hall and they
Yes.
review it and
Yes.
then?
And
is
then
there
there'll be a meeting
a
with the
meeting?
town manager.
Okay,
Yeah, where we'll go over it again,
okay,
and then the finance committee.
Finance committee.
okay.
Are the finance committee meetings gonna be public this year, or do we know yet?
We don't know yet.
you mean in person?
Yeah, usually they were in February.
But they were pushed off till March last year,
Yeah,
weren't
they
they?
were,
in
they were,
March,
yeah.
yes.
And that made a lot of sense actually, because
Yeah.
of the state budget time.
Yeah.
So,
I think it'll probably be virtual this year.
I have a question for you
Mhm.
with regards to the teen aids.
Yes,
That won't happen until July.
July, yes.
So should you have a need before that,
Mm-hmm.
could we not use state aid to help you with that?
Absolutely, yeah.
Because I think we should
yeah.
really think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about the state
Okay.
aid under personnel, but.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because I think it's not a lot of money, but still
oh, definitely.
makes a big difference.
Yeah, from January to June,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
definitely. Especially as
Especially-
it gets warmer
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
And if this wave goes by, then there's going to be more coming.
right.
Mhm.
Dr. Sawyer did say in his email this week that most cases have occurred cases in school have been passed outside of school.
Mhm.
Not saying, but just with that many people here, it's a
Yeah.
lot, and
Yeah.
So it's
You know,
coming
reminding.
in, not out.
yeah,
coming
it's not a
into
lot.
the
It's only like
school.
11% in school transmission, so a lot of it's and that can be totally other places.
Sure.
Hockey practice, whatever, but
Mhm.
just to keep an eye on the
Yeah.
mask wearing and all the numbers and stuff.
Sure.
Okay, any other questions, comments about the first draft of the budget?
Looks good.
Looks good.
So is that, Nancy's question, is that something that maybe you could even talk about with Kevin or?
Yeah, I
just to
could.
see what, they suggest
I mean,
about
we
that.
do have our budget, the supplies is distributed as custodial supplies,
Yeah.
office supplies, library supplies and educational supplies. So if we go over in one and less in the other, we can adjust that.
Yeah,
So I think it is
it's good enough, okay.
And perhaps the town itself is thinking about what they may, you know,
Right,
it may hit them, all the
Right.
town
sure.
at some
From
point.
gasoline to copy paper, you just
Yeah,
never know.
yeah.
All right.
Like I say, without changing numbers, we could just spend down somewhere that, we got 6 months in this fiscal year to spend down, we spent almost none of that. 'cause
Right.
Yeah.
We have spent, yeah. Yeah. So if we stock up by
Yeah.
June,
Yeah.
you know, it'll be enough. We
Yeah.
did that last year,
Yeah.
too. That's how we managed
Yeah.
to now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I still haven't used all this toilet paper we stocked up on.
That you stocked up on.
Nor have we
Last
used,
May.
nor have we used it on the beach house.
Oh, that's funny.
Paper towels I've done, but not toilet paper.
So if you don't use it, it goes back to the town?
Yes, only the materials we can carry forward as ours. So that's why this year we have 230,000 or something in materials.
Have you noticed any increase, like in any of the books or things that you're purchasing, that they'd be costing more?
The cost of print books and ebooks has definitely gone up.
And you can't get them.
Right,
The
the
pub
supplies.
dates are getting pushed. and-
Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
It's taking longer to get them.
yeah.
And you said you're submitting this week to the town hall?
Yes. I have to submit it by December 30th, so I will be doing it tomorrow, though.
Yeah.
So you can have a nice holiday.
Yeah, yeah.
I used to hate this time of year for that reason. Oh.
All right, does anyone want to make a motion to approve the first draft of the budget?
Second. Oh,
Okay, so all set with that. And now it's on to reviewing the year-to-date report.
I'm sorry to ask this because I think we've talked about it before, but what are the percentages that are over 100%?
Oh, the
103,
professional
107.
services, that is the fee for CW Mars and the big item things, the professional fees that we pay. But why it's gone over is because the temp, when we had the temporary reference librarian.
Yep.
They said we couldn't take it from the personnel
Okay.
account and that we would have to pay from this, and then they said they would transfer it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Right.
not yet been done. I thought it was going to be done at the special town meeting
Yeah.
in October, but Mary said that it will be done only in May. So,
Okay.
but they're aware of it. so
Okay.
Maybe a chance you. Thank you. So you can see the materials budget, we are doing pretty well. We've spent 52.8%. It's the supplies that we have. Office supplies is 40.4, but library supplies, educational supplies and custodial supplies, we do have to spend. Yeah, and overall it's 55.4%, so.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good.
Because some of that's just encumbered, so that's good.
Right.
Okay, any other comments?
Just where do we stand with our state aid? Are we, 'cause I know we're using it in some capacities for, possibly for the team,
Right.
help and that sort of thing, but we're okay.
We are
Mhm.
okay, yes. We have a good balance.
And when do we find out how much we get?
A month ago, I think I got the information. I mean, I submit the financial aid report in September,
Okay.
and then they review all the libraries and stuff. And
Right.
they did inform us that we would be getting around 65,000
Okay.
this year
Great.
in state aid. Yeah.
It's actually posted on the MBLC site. I got an
Oh,
email
yeah,
about it, and
yeah.
I went there, and they told you all the communities and how much everything
Oh, I
is.
have to
Yeah.
look at that.
Oh,
Yes.
Was that the amount you were anticipating?
Yes.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, does anyone want to make a motion unless there's other questions or comments?
To, what's the
To
motion?
approve the year-to-date
I make it,
report.
so moved.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. All right. Next item is facility, equipment, and grounds.
Our custodian is off for a couple weeks for some health
Oh.
reasons, and they have been, the public facilities has been sending night cleaners. They had stopped doing that, you know, they didn't have the contract cleaners at
Mhm.
night. It was only the custodian during the day. But now they've started sending someone at night to clean.
Did they empty the trash outside too?
I
Because
think
it's
so.
overflowing.
Where outside?
I was in the,
Yeah.
in the trash bucket
Oh,
outside.
I'll send an email to
Yeah.
the custodial
Yeah.
supervisor,
Yeah.
maybe they don't know about it.
So
I don't know if there are
there's
new
no one here
people.
during the day?
There is no one here during the day for, I think, a week or two now.
Mhm.
So if you have an emergency, you have to call.
I have to
Yeah.
communicate with the custodial supervisor and he will send someone else.
Well, I wish that, I hope that he gets well soon.
Yes, yes.
Any other issues?
The only thing, and I know I'm a broken record about this, but the Shrewsbury Public Library sign
Mhm.
that's out
The
front.
light, you want lights?
I know.
You want it lit?
It's totally, you can't see it at all at
Mm.
night.
Which
So,
one? This,
it's
this
The
one?
new
The
one
one
on
on
Main
the,
Street.
near the children's courtyard.
But
I don't even know it when you're talking about it, 'cause you
It's a
can't see
lovely
it.
sign.
It's
It's
very
big
dark
sign.
You
though,
can't
it's
see
a
it at
dark
night
sign,
Yeah.
at
yeah.
all.
Yeah.
So, you know, unless you round the corner, you might say, what's that big building?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'll
like a
mention
light
it again.
go- shining
yeah,
up on
just, all
it.
it needs is one of those little.
Yeah.
Is
Maybe
that
like
the,
a
is that
solar,
the responsibility of
you
the
know.
town?
It would be the public facilities.
They could put in one of those solar lights, that would do
Yeah.
it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
Then you don't even have to run wires.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could we use state aid for it?
I mean,
Is that something we don't wanna use state aid for?
if they
Well,
can,
it's
if they
public building.
say they
Yeah,
can't, yeah.
It's a public.
If it
building.
comes back that they can't, that's a
Then
good.
we
expensive
can
either.
suggest that,
Yeah.
yeah. I'll mention it again to
Okay,
keep
thanks.
calling.
Okay, anything else? Oh, okay, so moving on to gifts and grants.
So not such good news this year. We did not get the Greater Worcester Community Foundation grant for the English Conversation Circle and the Memory Cafe.
Oh.
So we had submitted an application for both of them together, like we had done last year, but we got a letter saying that we were not awarded, that we've not been awarded the grant. Apparently they received a number of applications and only 50% of them they could award. So I am going to be talking to the director, one of the people involved with that. But he's going to talk to me only in January because he said he's very busy. So we know the impact that these two programs have on our community. We know the
Right.
value of these programs. So when we talk about the state aid, which is I think almost the next one, we can discuss that.
So does this mean that the funds will run out of that soon?
Oh,
And so
yes. Yeah, because every year we spend the amount that they give us.
Right.
And we apply every year, we get fresh,
But this is good until the end of this fiscal year.
no, it's
No.
calendar year. It's December.
So we are not gonna have either of those programs now.
We don't have the funding for it.
Well, that's pretty.
We're gonna talk
Pretty
about, I
important.
think
That's
we're
what
gonna
we're
talk
gonna
about
talk
it a
That's
little
what
bit
we're going to
further.
talk
Yeah,
about, that the
yeah,
state aid,
yeah,
we can
yeah.
use state aid funds for that,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the Friends of the Library have been, providing supplemental funds for the Memory Cafe with the payment for the performers. But if if everyone approves for state aid funds to be used, I think we can, continue to offer these valuable.
They're important.
They are really important.
So that's a nice smooth transition
Yes.
to personnel, and that's kind of a subtopic from that.
Sure.
So do you
Yeah.
want to talk about that first, since it's just
Yeah,
kind of flows?
absolutely. Yeah, so I wanted to discuss, this state aid as a funding source for the ECC and the Memory Cafe. So it would be around $10,000, $5,000 for the English Conversation Circle, and $5,000 for the Memory Cafe. The English Conversation Circle, we pay a quarterly stipend to the facilitators, and it's a very small amount that we pay. We pay them $250 per quarter, and that's what we've been paying them for 11 years now. So it's a minimal amount, but it adds up, if we start offering more sessions every week. So we used to offer 5 sessions a week before the pandemic. During the pandemic, we did Zoom sessions, so it was only 2 sessions and 2 facilitators, and we were paying them the stipends from the Greater Worcester Community Foundation grant funds. And one of the facilitators, Christina Zerobi, she also puts together an e-newsletter that she sends out to people who are interested in getting information about various resources. She's managing a Facebook page called ECC at SPL, an Instagram account.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
she's really, taken it upon herself to make this a viable program in this virtual world. So we had increased her stipend and she's teaching a Zoom class, so we are paying her $250 for teaching the class per quarter, and $250 for doing all this work for the
Oh, good.
e-resources. So we continue paying her, and then there's another person who also facilitates a Zoom class. And we have started in-person classes, 2 of them. We've started them currently, and they're just volunteering their time. The women who used to teach before the pandemic, they wanted to come back, and they have started teaching 1 class in the library, and there's 1 class being offered at St. Anne's at the church. They have a room that they give us. Again, this was being done before, and we're continuing that now. So most of them tell me that they don't want to be paid, actually. But if we budget it in our, when we are allotting the state aid for that, I'll see how to distribute the funds. So for the English Conversation Circle, it's mainly the facilitators and the stipends that we pay them. For the Memory Cafe, again, it's Christina who is the coordinator for the Memory Cafe too, and again, she's doing an amazing job. It's a lot more work actually, doing all this virtual stuff, setting
Yeah.
up the Zoom
Yeah.
meeting, sending emails regularly, soliciting performers, and then the performers we were paying from the Friends. Friends had approved $3,000 last year. That's how we paid the performers. But I'm including that in along with the stipend, so it would be approximately $5,000 to pay the performers, around $200 per performance, 150, 200, sometimes 250. And whether it's Zoom or in person, we do have to pay the performers. So the estimate is $5,000 for the Memory Cafe and $5,000 for the English Conversation Circle.
Can I move that we appropriate that amount for the Memory Cafe and the ECC?
Thank you.
I second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. That's
I just have a
wonderful.
question that's of curiosity.
Yeah.
Using masks, has that made the English conversation harder?
Definitely does. It absolutely does. And the teachers have mentioned that, yes, for the in-person class. First of all, it's difficult to understand people when they speak in a different accent.
Sure.
So both ways, the teacher and the student. And a couple of them said that they are hard of hearing, so it makes it even more difficult. But yeah, everyone's managing with the masks. It is tough. And the same with the memory cafe too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Oh, I
very
bet,
difficult to
yeah.
enforce.
Yeah.
We keep telling the caregivers, please
Yeah.
wear your mask so that, we model that
Yeah.
behavior. But yeah, we haven't had big crowds of people. It's just been about 8 to 10 people. So, and we, set
And
up the
spread
room
out.
this way.
Right.
Yeah, it is difficult.
So for English conversation, it might be better by Zoom because you
It
can
might
do
be
the
better
by
lip reading and
Zoom
all
and-
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
At
Yeah,
least you
that's
can
true.
hear each
Yeah,
other and
turn up your
understand.
volume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true, turn up your volume.
Yeah.
Yes.
At your own discretion.
Yeah.
So Priya, how long will these funds last?
This is for the calendar year, January through December,
Okay,
2022.
okay, so in 2022, maybe we'll get another grant, or
Yes,
we'll
we can-
revisit this or something.
We can
Okay.
definitely look,
Okay.
for other grant opportunities.
I mean, I can see why the Greater Worcester Foundation would not fund it, because it's not as vital probably as some of the other requests.
Yeah,
But
especially
you're-
because of COVID.
Right, but you're hoping as things get better, they may
Right.
Yeah.
come back and,
Yeah.
See how valuable this is.
Yes.
Obviously, they have for many years.
Sure,
Yeah.
they have, yes. Yeah, since 2013, they've been,
Yeah.
Yeah.
awarding the one for the English class and
Mm.
the memory cafe since 2018. Yeah, when I talk to the gentleman, I will,
Sure.
ask him.
Okay, the other item under personnel is also related to using state funds.
State aid funds to hire teen aides,
Yeah.
and this would be for this, I've estimated for January through
Through
December.
Oh, you did?
I did,
Okay.
yes. Yes, approximately $2,500. I have estimated it for the whole year, but
Okay.
we can see,
Okay.
if the budget.
Perhaps we
it's-
should just approve half of it with the optimism that it'll be approved in the regular budget.
We can always
We can always
revisit
come
it if
back.
it
Yeah,
isn't, and, tap
We can
into
revisit
state
it,
funds.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You wanna do
Good
it
point.
that way?
Sure.
So I'm confused, the $2,500 would be for January to December?
January through December.
But then some of that state aid might not be used if it's approved by the budget?
Yes, because I've included it as a special request in the budget.
Yes, okay.
Right? But they're suggesting that
So
that
you'd
half
give
of
up
that
half of
amount.
it.
1,250 instead?
1,250 for January through June. That's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
and don't let them know we're doing it.
We're just keeping on top of the fiscal year.
Even though we're on television.
I know, I was gonna say that.
You would make a good spy, Joan. All right, so.
I just always worry that they keep looking, well, they've got state aid. Well, yeah, we do, but,
Yeah, yeah,
we're protecting it too.
yeah. Okay, well, sounds like we're gonna spend some now, so
1,250.
we
Which is
need
good.
to vote on that, so.
Yes.
Can I have a motion for 1,250 to be used for the teen aides from January through the end of June?
Yep.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you. I just wanted to mention a couple of things under
Yeah.
personnel.
yep,
So this year, I had recommended that Sonia Drotter attend the Effective Leadership Training Program. The town offers that for, all the departments, so I had recommended that she attend that, and they approved it, so she has started
Good.
attending it. It's,
Great.
That's great.
yeah, so, yeah, last year Mike had attended that program.
Great. It's
Sorry,
nice
what
that they
is it
do it
called?
every year.
Effective Leadership Training.
And it's for all town,
All town
Departments,
Yeah, all
right?
town departments.
That's great.
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
Also, under
Oh.
personnel, it's time for our annual review of our director. So hopefully you got the email that I sent out
I
with the
had trouble
form.
opening it, so.
Did you?
Yeah, I'll have to ask you what to do about that.
I'll send it to you again.
Okay.
And according to the schedule, I think that they're due to be submitted in January, and then the personnel subcommittee meets in January. And then we meet with Priya, and then in February, there's a formal evaluation in open session. So that's kind of the calendar of events. So maybe just looking at the calendar, if people could think about getting them in by maybe the second week of January, the week of the 10th.
Sure.
Maybe just drop
Is
them
this
off
our
here.
evaluation? I don't think I got this either.
You didn't get the email?
I had trouble, because it
Yeah.
came as a Google Doc.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get that to bring up the
Okay.
form.
Could you each just,
I can
because
email it,
I
yeah.
think you're better at that than
Sure,
I
I
am.
have the form blank.
Okay.
I'll email it to everyone.
Because
Okay.
I meant to email you back,
Yeah.
and I forgot. 'Cause I
Oh.
didn't do it right away.
Well, somebody else said they had difficulty, and I emailed it again, and I guess they were able to open it.
I had to convert it into another file, because I printed it out, and
Oh.
my printer would not allow me to do it.
Yeah.
With the
Do you
Google
use
Docs.
a Mac
So I saved it as a PDF.
I use a
and then
Mac, but I
could open
used
it.
all Google
Isn't it the email
Docs.
from Deb? Yeah,
So
okay.
yeah, if you wouldn't mind just
Sure,
sending it, because
yeah.
that way I'll know it'll go through and people shouldn't have difficulty
great.
opening it.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah, no
okay.
problem.
And then do you want us
And all
to
of you got
send
one?
it back to you electronically?
Yeah, maybe just, well, that will be hard, I think.
I know, I was just gonna.
Yeah,
Don't
maybe
count.
if you could just drop it off, I'll leave an
Sure,
envelope.
okay.
At the front desk, and then.
That's great.
What
maybe-
day did you want to buy?
If it could be dropped off by January 10th.
It wants your signature, so that would be a reason to have to print it out.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true.
Fill it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By
Did you
January
all
10th,
get
and then
my-
maybe we could meet as a personnel committee sometime later that week. But we can figure that out later. So that would be me and Nancy and April. Is that it? The three of us? Okay.
Did you all get my self-evaluation?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, yes.
Okay.
Very nice
Yeah.
and thorough, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Is there any update on our IT?
Yeah.
Oh, I was
Talk
just
about
gonna
that too.
mention
Okay.
that,
Okay.
I will be posting the positions, for the electronic resources librarian. We're going to call it Digital Services Librarian.
Oh.
This was a good time to change the
Sure.
title.
Yeah.
So, we looked around and most libraries call it Digital Services. So it's Digital Services Librarian and Technology Specialist. I have submitted the position description to Christina, the Human Resources Coordinator. She's going to review it and then post it on the town website, and then I will post it on the MBLC job board, and interviews will be sometime in January, middle of January, and hopefully we will be able to have 2 new people in February.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Hope so.
In the interim, are you getting any support from the town with IT?
I did speak with the town IT person. They are extremely busy themselves, and they also have some people in transition. So they said they're short of 2 people there too.
Oh,
So it's
Wow.
it's going to. I mean, if there's an emergency, they'll help. But otherwise, Mike said he would be able to manage, and we'll hope that nothing major breaks down.
Yeah.
The automated handling system and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. I
now
mean,
they
that-
were also working on the new website, is that?
That is, that's almost. It was almost done.
Yeah.
So that should be fine.
Okay.
Is that gonna push that back a little while, the new website?
No, the new website we
It's up.
should be
Isn't it
launching
up?
it. It is all, I mean,
It's
you
live,
can
but it's
see
not
it.
linked.
It's-
Yeah.
We have not
Oh, it's not
advertised
linked,
it.
that's
I mean,
right.
it's like, if you go from the town website, it still
Yeah,
goes
it's
to the
still
old
the
one.
old one.
Yeah,
that's
We
true.
haven't advertised
Yeah,
it.
'cause
But
when
you
I-
can just pull it up.
Yeah.
Because
You-
when I
yeah.
tried to reserve a
You-
book. it
Oh,
didn't-
did you do that?
No, I tried to, but it was early on,
Oh.
and it went
It
to the
went
old.
back to the old.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we are still using the old one.
Yeah, okay.
And, it can be done. Yeah, we have to see what to prioritize now and work accordingly, but, yep, so that's the status.
Okay. All right, anything from the Shrewsbury Public Library Foundation?
Yes.
Yeah, right here.
Last each of you,
Yeah.
we have finally gotten out our annual appeal letter. This is really the first one we've done. So there's you all have a copy of the letter that Mike, Hale, and I worked on in Priya yesterday. And so that you may all, I hope you all get this in your mailbox too. But so there's a donation form and a return envelope that goes to Priya's attention. So we want to get just establish our presence among donors so that they expect to see an annual appeal regularly.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we'll see what we garner from those efforts. And one of the things that we discussed at our last meeting was the fact that we really need, the Foundation Board really needs to have some help, clerical help, in doing things like this, and keeping the database up to date, not just donations, but people's, addresses and that. It's very outdated, and it's very time consuming. So, so we're hoping that in the coming year, we may be able to hire a part-time administrator for the foundation. And I can tell you, having attended a brainstorming session with other library foundations, virtually every library has paid staff to help with the foundation's efforts. So we keep spinning our wheels because we need that help. So I just want to mention that we may come to the Board of Trustees in the future to see if perhaps we can use some state aid money for paying a very part-time person to do this. So nothing finite at this point, but I just wanted you to kind of have a heads up. That, that's our goal at this point, is to really have some help making this work.
Makes sense.
And we also will probably have a vacancy or possibly two on the foundation board. And so we're going to do a little preliminary scouting for that. So more on that to come next month.
Nancy, in these other communities where they get support, the person who helps is a library employee, right? Not
I'm
a-
sorry.
In the other communities where the person helps with the databases and what have you, is that person, that part-time person, a library
No.
employee? It's a
No.
foundation employee?
No, it's a foundation.
I
They're paid
think
by
we
the
might have some trouble using state aid for the foundation directly, because I asked about that earlier. I'm not sure it's allowed, but.
That would be a good question to ask one of the libraries that does have someone working. Do they use state aid, or how do they pay for it?
I believe some of them do use state aid,
Yeah.
but I'll ask at the next meeting.
Yeah, I had inquired about that, more for the endowment and what have you, but they
Right.
told me no, we couldn't use state aid for it, so that's why I was curious.
For
Whether we
clerical.
could use state aid to fund somebody to help with this,
Foundation.
databases, yeah.
Okay. All right.
I have no problem with using state aid for it,
Right.
because I think it's needed, but
Yeah.
it's a good point. If the
A well-established
Powers that-
Foundation is a
can afford to
nonprofit
pay
and it's-
someone,
it has
but we
funds
can't.
because it's
Yeah.
granting.
Not enough
So,
money in the bank yet.
we're not well-established,
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
takes money to make money, right?
sure,
Right.
exactly.
Okay, that's all I have.
Okay.
Would you look for volunteers? No.
No, no, it really, it's a lot of confidential information.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
You need a
And you really
continuity.
need someone that, first of all, is tech savvy, but also, you know, that understands.
Confidentiality.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially where they're potentially working from home at their own
Yeah.
time schedule, and you wanna make sure.
Somebody who's tech savvy and is happy working from home, it would be a good job.
Yeah. Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah,
You know, that's
super
a really
flexible.
Yeah.
Stay-at-home
Yeah.
parent, you
Yeah.
know. that-
Absolutely.
How many hours do you,
You know,
Thank-
we're not even there yet.
Okay.
You know, we're thinking, you know, maybe, I don't know, maybe 15 hours a
Uh-huh.
month. You know,
oh, really?
something.
Something?
You know,
Okay.
we'll start off, you know, small.
Yeah, and see how it goes.
And see how much time is really involved for the things that we want to do.
Mhm.
Also, you know, doing, you know, like the Distinguished Speaker Series, it's a lot of work, and a lot of it is this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we really need someone to help
Yeah.
in that capacity
Sure.
as well,
Yeah.
so, you know. But anyway, the wheels are turning.
Okay.
How many letters do you send out, or how many are you sending out?
We, about 300 at this point, and we were relying on donors from the capital campaign.
Yeah.
So it's very outdated.
Yeah.
You know,
The address,
list.
the contact
You
information.
really do need someone to help.
Yes, absolutely. So, anyway, that's food for thought.
Okay, thanks, Nancy. All right, moving on to the Friends of the Library.
So we had the holiday open house sponsored by the Friends on December 4th, and that was very successful. A lot of happy kids and families. Next meeting will be in Jan.
Yeah. Okay. Anything new in policies?
There's no new library policy, but I just wanted to mention that town's new, the memo that the town manager had sent dated December 15th, saying that the town hall, the employees will go into 2 working groups, Team A and Team B. And he had said that all establishments, the library, the COA, and the town hall have to follow this. I reached out to him, and I think I shared the information with all of you, saying that at this point we feel that it is safe for all the staff to be working together here, because we already have staggered schedules. We have so many part-time people
Right.
working either 9 to 1 or 1 to 5 or 5 to 9, and we are open 4 days of the week for 12 hours. Open on Saturdays and Sundays, so we are a little different from the town hall. So first, I feel that it is safe for the staff with the current working conditions. I keep reiterating to all of them the importance of continuing to be vigilant and careful with wearing a mask, maintaining distance. We don't share food. We don't, even use the break room, lunch room. It's just one person at a time. So we are being extremely cautious. And I believe that we can continue like this, but we will keep evaluating regularly. And if there is any cause for concern, then we will adapt their policy. I have communicated with the town manager, the assistant town manager, and the human resources coordinator. We do have a contingency plan with 2 teams, staff in 2 teams, but if we did have to go to that, we would have to reduce the hours that the library is
Yes.
open.
Oh,
We're
absolutely.
back where we
Would
started.
not be able to do that, and I think that would affect the community.
Mhm.
Yeah.
People are
Very
so happy to be back
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Totally
Um,
agree.
And everything is important, the Saturdays, the Sundays, and the hours, so.
The library is very different from other departments, and we have residents and patrons coming in all the time,
Right.
so many hours of the week that other like town hall, you
Mhm.
know, I mean, yes, they're busy, but not like the library gets used.
Right.
So to have to go back to cutting hours, and that's
Yeah.
like the last thing we want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Plus-
And the last thing the community wants,
Plus, the library has more space,
yes.
We
you know,
do
where the
raise
town
space for the
offices are
staff.
tight, you know,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
there's more space here.
Yeah.
Is the staff comfortable? I know they were nervous, a lot of staff members were nervous before vaccines were available. Like, do you feel like there's a little bit more comfort level,
Yes,
feeling
definitely,
protected?
definitely, yeah. And it took some time for people to get used, staff to get used to the long hours again and working evenings and all of that. But now they are, you know, they do feel comfortable about it.
The
They
plexiglass.
Right, all of that. And I think it would affect staff morale in a negative way if we go back to the
Yeah.
two teams.
Yeah, and I
because
think
that's-
patron
it's very difficult.
morale too.
You know, all the programs that we have been offering, we have started offering in-person programs. Maybe we could cut those down
Mm.
and offer only virtual programs.
Mhm.
But again, this meeting room is so big when, you know, if we have an English conversation circle with 2 teachers and 4 people, we still are maintaining more than 6 feet distance
Mm.
between people. The children's story times, they have started offering in person. Maybe we could go back to the virtual in that if we think that it is not safe, but at present, they all feel safe doing that. So I do hope we can continue this way.
Well, when you listen to the experts talking on TV, the one doctor from Brown, and I can never remember his name, talked about the importance of keeping children in school and keeping people, it's just simply being careful and
Right,
wearing masks, and that we do have to go on.
right.
So,
We're
Yes.
learning to live with it a bit, I think.
yes,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing I've heard is that this wave is expected to be so much faster.
Yeah.
Yeah,
than
yeah.
it was.
Faster.
Yeah, it's already,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
They said what, by the 3rd week in January it should be
Yeah,
gone?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's really ripping through
Yeah.
populations,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Past 10
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
But at least the severity is so much less, because of the
Well.
vaccines have just
Right,
done wonders.
Oh, yeah.
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 Yeah, that is the main difference from last year,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That we feel a little more confident because everyone's
Yeah.
vaccinated. The staff is all vaccinated. And we are not congregating for lengths of time, you know, so
Mm.
that is the key, I think. The staff is interacting with each other, but we are not all congregating. We don't have staff meetings, we do them only virtually. We don't meet in person for anything.
Mm.
We're always wearing masks.
Mhm.
So we are being extremely vigilant and cautious.
Good.
And I want
Thank
to
you.
stay optimistic.
Thank you for being cautious.
I think everybody wants us to be optimistic, yeah.
And Priya, you had shared that board meetings starting next week
Yes.
will be.
Yes, I just got the email
Yeah.
today that all boards and committees will meet only virtually.
Oh, so our
Not in
meeting in
person.
January will be virtual?
Most likely,
Most
unless
likely.
things miraculously just disappear.
Yeah,
Mm.
starting December 27th.
Yeah.
They said.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
We're so
So-
nicely spaced.
I know.
You all are so lovely.
It's so nice to see you.
So you'll keep us posted about that.
Definitely,
Okay.
definitely.
At least we can have our meeting without worrying about the weather.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
that's
true.
true.
There is a bright
Yeah, the
side.
January, February meetings may not be so bad. then.
Yeah.
Very true.
All right.
One thing I noticed with the schedule for the meetings, you have it December
I
27th.
know, I realize that's not right? It should be the second or third week.
Yeah, because I was thinking,
Because it's always the budget
so
discussion.
that's okay.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
I did realize
Yeah.
that. But the other dates,
The
I
others
think we'd be
looked
able
okay,
to keep
yeah.
up with the,
Yeah.
I think it would be the 20th.
The December 20th for
Yeah,
next
Maybe.
the
December.
Tuesday before.
yeah.
Maybe, might
Maybe.
even be earlier than that, right? Depending.
Yeah, sometimes we have it earlier,
Yeah, well, you know in advance.
depending
if
on
you
the
need to
budget
change it,
timeline.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
I guess in February, that is February school vacation, but that, we don't take that into consideration. Yeah.
Unless it's affecting people.
Yeah.
Used to affect me, but not anymore.
Oh. Priya,
I
did
was
you
always
wanna
missing
talk
the
about
February
The
meeting.
miscellaneous,
Okay.
yes. Yeah.
Okay, under miscellaneous.
Yes, I had a request, December 24th and 25th, the library is closed, Friday and Saturday. December 26th, we had said the library would be open, but I've just,
No.
I think we should, I want to request all of you to approve that the library be closed on Sunday, December 26th. And I'm not sure about January 2nd. The new year, it's the same thing. We're closed on the 31st and 1st. But right now, we have said we'd be open on the 2nd. Do we want to?
I think the staff is doing such a great job with having everything flow that we should approve both. It's a nice sort of gift or something. I mean, we can't do a holiday party for them anymore,
Yeah.
so it would be a nice way to give them a long weekend.
Oh, yeah, both Sundays, right?
Yeah, they're both
Both are
Sundays, so
Sundays.
it would just be 4 hours.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
But-
December 26th.
Have those dates been slated for sponsorship, or do you know?
Well, those are Mondays, the 26th and the 1st.
Sundays.
Sundays.
26th and 2nd. Second.
Oh, I'm back in 2022. I'm ahead of myself.
December 26th and
Oh,
Jan
yeah.
2nd.
And the second.
Yeah,
Yeah.
close.
Mm.
Yeah, this Sunday and the
Yes.
next.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we could, if they have been identified as
We could
sponsors, we just push
yeah,
them forward.
Yeah,
Just
that,
push
I
forward.
just,
That's
I
fine.
mean, I have a list, but
Oh,
I
you're
can
the
just
one-
push
okay,
it.
that's
Yeah,
fine.
I manage that.
Yeah, okay.
It's not a
Just
problem.
extend it into the.
Exactly.
So do we need to vote on that then?
I think so.
Probably.
Okay, so I move that the library be closed on Sunday, December 26th, and Sunday, January 2nd, in observance of the holiday weekends.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you
Okay.
very much. The Sunday staff will be very happy. And they deserve it.
They
They
do,
do.
they do, absolutely.
Plus, it's probably good to just let the building sit for 3 days.
Yeah.
Maybe the years are.
Maybe it needs a rest too.
They probably wouldn't be very busy days anyway.
No.
Yeah.
No.
There
No.
might be some returns, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
but
can
that's
still
okay.
do that.
The machine never sleeps.
the machine doesn't sleep.
All right, so we went through the dates for next year's meetings. Anything else to discuss tonight?
So is December a TBA at this point?
Yeah.
TBA,
Sounds like it.
TBD, yes.
Anything else? All right, a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All those in favor? Aye. So we'll see you again on the 25th.